Good morning. This is Dave Kofer. If you have dialed in for the Columbus Chamber sponsored webinar entitled College Interns, a Wise Workforce Alternative, but from a discussion topic standpoint, we're going to talk about why you should consider internships. And it's kind of a very important place to start as far as really what's the value proposition behind leveraging interns. Making internships work will be kind of our second discussion. Then we'll talk about millennial fast facts, and that'll be just a really high-level overview around this generation, oftentimes referred to as the millennials, Gen Y, etc. Then we'll turn our attention to managing millennial expectations and ensuring that you understand kind of the perspective and thought that they bring to the workplace. It's fair to say that every generation brings a different set of expectations to the workplace, and from that standpoint, it's important to be aware of them such that you can manage them. And then we'll wrap up with a discussion from both Pat Gibson of PMG Communications and Samantha Evans of CF Bank on their experiences in leveraging interns, why they chose to go the route of leveraging an internship versus, say, a full-time hire, and how their experience has been, both kind of the good and maybe some of the challenges that they've experienced as well, so that we can all learn from that. And then we'll open it up for Q&A. Comments and start into our presentation. And I'm on page 3 of the slide deck entitled As an Employer. And these are just some questions really to get you thinking about how possibly you can leverage an internship in your workplace. But again, before we do that, first question would be, would you benefit from a confident, hopeful, and goal/achievement-oriented workforce? And by the way, these are some words often used to describe members of the millennial workforce. Do you have projects and infrastructure improvement opportunities that often go untouched due to efforts to keep the doors open? Would you benefit from a try-before-you-buy approach to developing your talent pipeline? In the case of an internship, not needing to make a long-term commitment to the individual, usually kind of a 10 to 12-week experience. Do you have a network of contacts that include customers, suppliers, business partners with a diverse set of experiences and industry expertise? These days, I don't think there's many people who aren't facing this kind of climate, but are you facing a climate of instability such that you need access to flexible workforce options where commitments to a 10 to 12-week assignment are ideal? And are you very focused on expenses right now and resources available for free or less than what experienced employees would demand is of great interest? All of those questions and how you've responded really serve as great tie-ins to, why should I consider an internship? And I'm now on slide 4 entitled Why Consider Internships. So the first thing that you may want to consider relative to an internship and whether or not you should leverage one is the opportunity to gain early access to highly qualified talent. And the reason why gaining access to this talent early is so important is that the very best will be the most highly sought after. And if you don't get to them early, it will be difficult to compete against other employers looking to attract this top talent. The other benefit is you get to get work done today. So it's not just about previewing that talent for the future and building your future talent pipeline, but you're also going to advance your business today. You're going to get projects and initiatives complete today. Leads me to the next point, advancing your business. It allows you the opportunity to address the projects and infrastructure improvement opportunities that are often put on the back burner in lieu of more pressing day-to-day business needs, especially now. So in the past, interns would be brought in to maybe do those things that weren't getting attention for whatever reason. Too busy kind of managing the day-to-day, that certain projects and initiatives that maybe weren't time-sensitive would make for great intern assignments. But what might you be experiencing these days? Let's say that members of your existing full-time staff were working on certain projects, but because the state of the economy being what it is, pressing business issues, those individuals have been pulled off certain projects, maybe business critical projects, to lend their attention to more pressing needs. Now, who's going to step in, carry the ball, and get those projects done? Those, again, make for great internship opportunities. The other thing here, and depending upon the size of the organization you represent, you may be asking yourself, what exactly do we have to offer? Maybe we're a small to medium-sized business, and I don't have this great infrastructure or organization for them to plug into. Well, don't discount what you do have to offer. The breadth and depth of experience, your expansive network of contacts, are very attractive and very valuable from the perspective of an intern. An internship is really about a number of different things. It's about getting tangible work experience. It's about adding new skills and abilities to one's toolkit. But it's also about building a network of professional contacts that allows you to get work done every day, but also allows you to begin to lay the groundwork and framework for securing full-time employment. So don't discount the fact that you have the means of making introductions to people, whether they be customers, stakeholders, business partners, vendors. You have an expansive network. That expansive network in introductions could be very valuable from the perspective of an intern. An intern represents kind of an agile and flexible workforce option. Most interns are seeking 10 to 12-week assignments. So from that standpoint, if you have project-based work that you know has a discrete start and end point, considering an intern might be a very good way to go. If you're considering contract support of any way, or leveraging a team of contractors, before you do that, give some consideration to an intern, because an intern may be a more viable alternative given kind of the value proposition around cost and their ability to take on shorter assignments. Great segue into the cost component of this. First and foremost, if you can pay an intern, you should. While interns still consider unpaid opportunities, and we place interns into unpaid opportunities all the time, even if you pay, their wage is still likely to be less than if you went to the street to make a hire. So something to consider there again is, if you can pay, you should, because these interns, they're evaluating the overall allocation of hours they have each week. So you're going to probably find an intern who has class 15 to 20 hours a week. And most college students these days, very few have the luxury of not having to work at least a part-time job to earn a wage. So let's toss on top of that now another 15 to 20 hours a week in a paid part-time job. Something to pay the bills, not necessarily going to advance their career so much. 40 hours already spoken for, and now it's the proposition of, do I take on an unpaid opportunity? I haven't studied yet, I haven't made any time for personal things, whatever it might be. So just look at it from the perspective of an intern of, an unpaid internship and where that fits into my other obligations and where I allocate my time. The final reason that maybe you should consider an internship, it kind of speaks to altruistic reasons and the fact that you're kind of benefiting the greater good. You're going to give the opportunity to a young person for career exploration. And this is an experience that they can't get in a classroom. It's not something they can get from reading a book or watching a video. It's just tangible, practical, hands-on work experience that you can only get one way, and that's on the job. So again, you're going to benefit a young person from the standpoint of career exploration. The other thing that you're going to have the opportunity to do is to contribute to the larger effort within the Columbus region around focusing on keeping our young talent in the region both during their college days and after. With approximately 110,000 college students attending 18 to 20 universities in the Columbus region, we have a phenomenal pool of talent in our region. Unfortunately, we haven't been leveraging it as well as we could, and too many of those young people depart Columbus upon graduation for other marketplaces, whether they be Chicago, Charlotte, Atlanta, LA, New York. We haven't given them a good enough reason to stay. And through an internship, it's a great way to get connected to the community. It's a great way to really understand the full-time employment opportunities available upon graduation.